Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276. We begin from the presidential villa where President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law. Just days after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) released the timetable for the 2027 general elections. The signing took place at the presidential villa, Abuja, around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, with principal officers of the National Assembly in attendance. The National Assembly had earlier passed the bill on Tuesday. The amendment reignites debate over the electronic transmission of election results. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has called on Christians and Muslims to use the rare convergence of Lent and Ramadan, both of which begin on the same day this year, as an opportunity to promote peace, unity, and national stability. In a personally signed statement released, the president described the simultaneous commencement of the two sacred seasons as uncommon. Tinubu added that it serves as a reminder that Nigerians of both faiths share much in common, and are one people under God. Muslims in Nigeria have joined their counterparts around the world to begin the Ramadan fast, and this follows the announcement of the sighting of the crescent moon by Saudi authorities. In this report, Global Television correspondent Shehu Said takes a look at the significance of the Ramadan fast and what is expected of the fasting Muslim.
The Ramadan fast is the third pillar of Islam, ordained in the second year after Hijrah, the migration from Mecca to Medina. Fasting in Islam is the abstinence from eating and drinking from dawn to sunset during the month of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, as contained in chapter 2, verse 183 to 185 of the glorious Quran. This act of worship and obedience to Allah comes with its conditions as enumerated by an Islamic scholar, Sheikh Yakubu Muhammad Kazim.
First and foremost, you must be a Muslim. Secondly, you must be of sound mind, which means if you have some element of insanity, you are not allowed to fast. So if you are sick, you are not allowed to fast. Like women now that are menstruating. If you are a menstruating woman, you are not allowed to fast.
What then is expected of the fasting Muslim?
What is expected of you is to study the Quran very well, forgive, forget.
Sheikh Yakubu Kazim also highlights the spiritual benefits of the Ramadan fast.
It is in this Ramadan that we have a night that is bigger than 1,000 nights. It is in this Ramadan that destiny is shaping.
Apart from spiritual benefits, what health benefits does the fasting Muslim derives? Dr. Nwala Chuks is a medical practitioner.
Fasting can prevent us from putting on so much weight. So as we are not putting on so much weight, some of these disease conditions like hypertension, like diabetes and all that, we are avoiding them indirectly.
Both benefits, spiritual and health, Muslims are expected to be more dedicated in acts of worship during the Ramadan to reap the blessings it comes with, as it is an opportunity that comes only once in a year. Shehu Said, reporting for Global Television News.
Meanwhile, as Muslims begin this year's Ramadan fast, the immediate past president of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, has distributed food items to residents across the 17 local government areas of Yobe State. Global Television's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the gesture is aimed at supporting vulnerable families during the holy month of Ramadan. That report will come to you in our subsequent bulletin. Away from the Ramadan to politics, where the People's Democratic Party chairmanship candidate for the Bari Area Council election, Julius Adamu, has withdrawn from the race in favor of the All Progressive Congress APC candidate Joshua Musa, in a move that has raised eyebrows across the Federal Capital Territory political landscape. The stand down marked by a shadow of supporters and political heavyweights, took place in Buari, where the FCT minister Nyesom Wike was present. Julius says he would no longer contest the chairmanship seat and urged supporters to back the APC candidate. The National Association of Unemployed Persons with Disabilities has accused the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency of marginalizing persons with disabilities in its recent employment process. Ubong Usoro reports.
Addressing journalists in Abuja, the group alleged that despite their statutory provision allocating at least 5% of public sector employment opportunities to persons with disabilities, they were excluded from consideration. The association referenced the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act, which mandates a minimum of 5% employment quota for persons living with disabilities in public organizations. They also cited Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which prohibits discrimination on various grounds and guarantees equal protection.
We just came to ask for our rights, the rights of persons with disability. But unfortunately, on demanding for our rights was being trampled upon by the Chief Executive of NOSDRA, Nigeria Oil Spill Detecting Regulatory Agency, Engineer Chukwuemeka Nwoke. So when we came this morning, we are still interfacing with his staff.
The group further accused the Director General of NOSDRA, Chukwuemeka Nwoke, of attempting to intimidate members during their engagement with the agency.
Okay, I'm expecting the well-meaning Nigeria, the government, international organization, to help us ask the DG what is our offense that he wished to run us off with his vehicle. Is it because he is privileged over us? This is the law. And all other agencies are obeying this law. The law is sacrosanct. 5%, just 5%. Just 5%. And we've been here since 2021.
Is it just NOSDRA or other agencies?
All other agencies. Disability Rights Act of 2018. Yes.
However, a director at NOSDRA denied the allegations. The agency maintained that it did not conduct a fresh recruitment exercise, but rather carried out staff replacements, arguing that the 5% provision did not apply in that context. NOSDRA also alleged that some members of the group attempted to damage the Director General's vehicle during the confrontation. Efforts to reach the Director General of NOSDRA, Chukwuemeka Nwoke, for further clarifications were unsuccessful as his phone lines were switched off at the time of filing this report. The association is now calling for independent investigation and strict enforcement of the 5% employment quota across all government agencies. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
Let's now head to Ondo State, where at least 2 people have reportedly been killed during the World Congress of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as violence erupted in Idonre local government area. Several others were said to have sustained injuries during the crisis, which also led to the burning of a vehicle. The incident came barely 24 hours after suspected political thugs disrupted a stakeholders meeting at the party's secretariat in Akure. The meeting was presided over by the state chairman of the party, Adetimehin. Sources in the raid said the Congress could not hold in some wards as hoodlums allegedly were attacked by party members. And now to Graft War, where the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has held on the former Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai. It was the former governor's second night at the agency's Abuja headquarters. There were indications that the ex-governor may stay longer in custody of the Anti-Graft Commission if Commission secures a remand order from a court. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Petokun, has received a vote of confidence as former leaders of the Nigerian police force closed ranks behind his reforms drive. Samuel Odi has details.
At the force headquarters, Louis Edet House, Abuja, The Committee of Retired Inspector General of Police paid a solidarity visit to the IGP in what observers describe as a powerful endorsement of the ongoing institutional reforms. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, says sweeping reforms have reshaped the force in the past 2 years. This includes upgrading the intelligence units to full departments, elevating legal and medical units to directorates, expanding mobile force squadrons from 74 to 80, creating new area commands and divisions, and launching a special intervention squad to confront emerging threats. He also announced that the merit-based promotion of 141,000 officers and the enforcement of compulsory ethic training to strengthen professionalism and discipline nationwide.
One of the major structural reforms we have implemented is the upgrading of our intelligence unit to the full status of a department in recognition of the central role intelligence plays in modern policing and proactive crime prevention.
The delegation of former police chiefs include Aliyu Atta and Mohammed Dikko Abubakar, among others. Speaking on behalf of the delegation, former Inspector General of Police Mohammed Dikko Abubakar commended the reforms and urged officers nationwide to give full support to the current leadership.
We have encouraged the IG to continue to do his job with vigor, with commitment, as he has done always. And we thank all the officers for giving him the support to do what he's supposed to do as the leader of the Nigeria Police today.
The visit signals a rare intergenerational unity within the force and reinforces a collective resolve to reposition the Nigerian police for greater efficiency, credibility, and public trust. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
And now to education, where the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, has inaugurated a high-level committee to oversee the equipping and operationalization of multipurpose laboratories in selected public tertiary institutions across Nigeria. The inauguration ceremony took place at the TETFund boardroom in Abuja. Education correspondent Priscilla Obasi now reports.
The committee is expected to develop a comprehensive technical roadmap for the procurement and installation of state-of-the-art laboratory equipment aimed at strengthening research infrastructure in Nigeria's tertiary education system. The initiative follows a recent allocation of 13 billion naira by the federal government, specifically earmarked for the establishment and furnishing of central multipurpose laboratories. At the inauguration, Executive Secretary of TETFund, Sonny Echono, said the project is designed to address long-standing gaps in research facilities and reduce the need for Nigerian scholars to travel abroad for specialized laboratory analysis.
For the records, the committee that recommended the establishment of these centers actually have a list of equipment recommended. But as we know, we are living in times of rapid obsolescence, and the technology field is very disruptive. There are also changes. Technology is impacting teaching and learning and research in more ways than we can imagine. So there is a need for a constant review.
Echono also noted that beyond infrastructure provision, the committee has been mandated to develop a sustainability framework for training laboratory technicians and ensuring proper maintenance of the equipment. The committee includes representatives from the National Universities Commission, National Board for Technical Education, the Federal Ministry of Education, as well as scholars and industry experts. Members of the committee have been tasked with conducting needs assessment across institutions, ensuring procurement meets international standards, and guiding distribution of equipment based on research specializations such as biotechnology, mechatronics, and renewable energy. The inauguration marks another step in ongoing efforts by TETFund and the federal government to modernize Nigeria's research ecosystem and strengthen the capacity of tertiary institutions to produce solutions that address national development challenges. Priscilla Obasi, reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast plus business foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Step outside and you feel it instantly. The air is dusty. The Federal Capital Territory and most parts of the country are currently under the noticeable dust haze. And up north, the concentration is even heavier. So heading into Thursday, the story doesn't change. The dust stay with us. We're expecting thick dust haze across the northern cities, especially in Borno, Adamawa, Jigawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Katsina, and Kano State. Visibility could drop to 1,000 meters or even less. That means hazy skies, reduced visibility, and extra caution for flight operators to check the NIMET e-flight folder portal for proper planning. And also anyone spending long hours outdoors. Across the north-central region, moderate dust haze would dominate, while inland southern cities will still experience slight hazy conditions. But that's not all. By afternoon, we're watching out for thunderstorms over parts of Ondo, Ogun, Bayelsa, Cross River, and River State. So while some areas battle dust, others could hear rumbles of thunder later in the day. It's a mix of haze and storms. So stay alert, drive carefully, and keep those umbrellas close if you are in the south. I am Akani Samarda.
In business, the president and chairman of the Dangote Industries Limited, Aliko Dangote, has called on the federal government to urgently convene a national retreat to resolve Nigeria's persistent electricity crisis. He warned that widespread power outages could undermine the country's industrialization drive and economic growth. Dangote made the appeal at the official launch of the National Industrial Policy 2025 in Abuja, themed From Policy to Productivity, implementing Nigeria's industrial future. The policy emerged against the backdrop of a weak manufacturing sector, which due to power electricity supply, high production costs, limited access to finances, industrial deficit, and a heavy reliance on imports, has been constrained. The African Development Bank, in partnership with the African Rice Center and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has officially launched the Multinational Rice Resilient Value Chain Development Program, AfriRice, unveiled in Bouaké, Côte d'Ivoire. The 5-year, $8.5 million initiative targets rice self-sufficiency across 14 West African nations. The program tackles chronic rice sector challenges, including low yields, poor harvest losses, and production covering just 60% of regional demand amidst climate-induced losses of 16 to 29% over the past 15 years. With the population and growth urbanization driving import reliance, African Rice promotes climate-resilient production, improved seed system, advanced processing, and regional coordination to transform rice as a strategic commodity. On the foreign scene, the United Nations International Children Education Fund, UNICEF, says there are currently more than 2 million displaced people in South Sudan. The United Nations agency said an estimated 60% of these children are orphans, a figure believed to be incomprehensible. Zara Unasir reports.
South Sudan gained independence in 2011, but soon descended into civil war between two rebel generals, Salva Kiir and Riek Machar. A 2018 power-sharing deal brought relative peace, with Kiir as president and Machar his deputy, but the agreement has already built over the first year. This middle-aged man, who requested anonymity, provides an insight into the situation.
Any person who is not a soldier is vulnerable, so we don't have a gun to protect ourselves. We just sitting as a civilian. So as we speak now, we don't have option. Only God we just praise, the God will alone protect us.
Samuel is general surgeon and director at Akobo Hospital. He described the talent at the health facility.
I'm the only surgeon managing all these patients. And previously, ICRC used to come, and in case of mass casualty, they come and help us here. But currently, I think they have not given access by government in Vigo to come to assist us in this mass casualty.
Fighting in Jonglei State between the army under Kir and forces loyal to Machar has displaced some 280,000 people since December, according to the United Nations. Zahra Unasr reporting for Global TV.
Still on the international scene, France and Algeria have agreed to restart security cooperation during a visit to Algiers by French Interior Minister, marking the first sign of a thaw in diplomatic ties. After meeting with President Abdelmadjid Tebboune, the minister said both sides have agreed to activate a high-level security cooperating mechanism. The visit took place against the backdrop of a thorny relationship between France and its former colony, frayed since Paris in 2024 officially backed Moroccan sovereignty over the disputed Western Saharan region, where Algeria supported the pro-independence Polisario Front. And now to sport. Nigeria's Super Falcons are set to face the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in two friendly matches as part of preparations ahead of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations scheduled for Morocco. Both teams will clash in Yaoundé in February 28 and March 3. In a statement, Mohamed Sanusi, the Nigerian Football Federation General Secretary, noted that the federation was committed to ensuring proper preparation for the team. Victor Osimhen delivered a creative masterclass as Galatasaray stunned Juventus 5-2 in a 7-goal Champions League playoff first leg thriller. Although the Nigerian striker has now gone 2 consecutive matches without scoring, despite his team netting 10 goals across those competitions, he remained central to Galatasaray's attacking dominance, providing 2 assists in each game. Against Juventus, his intelligence, pressing, and unselfish play proved decisive on a dramatic night in Istanbul. Still talking sport, football-related disputes made up the vast majority of cases registered with the Court of Arbitration for Sport in 2025. According to a post obtained on FIFA's X handle, the 4th edition of the report highlights that 77% of all cases at the court in 2025 involved football matters, underscoring the sport's dominant share of tribunal overall case overload for the year. The publication provides a comprehensive overview of appeals lodged against FIFA's decision before court, as well as broader insight into how football is represented in arbitration proceedings. That's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.